3 years ago, I could barely walk up my own front steps. Today, I do 2 miles every morning at 65. The difference? These 8 foods my doctor never mentioned. Thousands of seniors across the country are already making these simple changes and feeling the difference on their morning walks. Stick with me through this video, then join us on Senior Recharge for more every week. And before we get into the list, do me one favor right now. Hit subscribe, because if this video helps you, next week's will too. And I'd hate for you to miss it just because you forgot to click that button. Let me tell you something I never thought I'd be saying out loud. 2 years ago, at 63 years old, I was holding onto the kitchen counter just to get up from a chair. My legs felt like they were wrapped in wet concrete every single morning. Climbing the 6 steps to my front porch felt like summiting a mountain. My wife Linda caught me once, gripping the stair railing with both hands, breathing heavy, just from walking in from the garage. She didn't say anything, but I saw her face, and I knew we were both thinking the same thing. Is this just what getting old feels like now? I refused to accept that, so I started digging, not into some miracle pill or expensive supplement program. I went straight into the research, peer-reviewed journals, clinical studies on aging muscle, nutrition science for adults over 60. And what I found genuinely surprised me. Most of the leg weakness I was experiencing wasn't purely about age. It was about what I was and wasn't putting on my plate every single day. I spent months going through the research on this. Clinical studies, peer-reviewed journals, trials, specifically on adults over 60. Everything I share on this channel I have personally tested on myself first. If that sounds like the kind of information you want more of, subscribe to Senior Recharge right now. You are in the right place. Today I'm going to share the 8 foods that helped me go from holding onto countertops to walking 2 miles every morning without stopping. These aren't trends. These aren't guesses. Every single one of them is backed by real science, and most of them started working faster than I ever expected. I'm Bob Miller. Welcome to Senior Recharge. Number 1, pumpkin seeds. I know. You're probably thinking, Bob, seeds? Really? That's your big opener? Stick with me here, because this one caught me completely off guard, too. Pumpkin seeds are loaded with magnesium, one of the most critical minerals for muscle function, and one that most Americans over 60 are quietly deficient in without even knowing it. When your magnesium is low, your leg muscles can't contract and relax properly. You get cramps. You get that heavy, dragging feeling when you walk. Your nerves don't send signals to your muscles as efficiently, and your legs start feeling unreliable, like they might just give out on you. A study published in the journal Magnesium Research found that adults over 60 with low magnesium levels experienced nearly twice the leg fatigue during walking tests compared to those with adequate levels. Twice. That is not a small gap. Pumpkin seeds also contain zinc and healthy fats that help keep inflammation under control, which matters more than most people realize for muscle recovery as we age. Just 2 tablespoons of raw pumpkin seeds gives you enough magnesium to start supporting muscle recovery within hours. Soak them overnight to reduce phytic acid and help your body absorb the minerals more effectively. Then blend them into a morning smoothie. Sprinkle them over oatmeal or just eat them plain. Don't salt them. I started doing this every morning. Within a week, my nighttime leg cramps, which had been waking me up at 2 in the morning for months, were almost completely gone. Number 2. Tart cherry juice. The first time my daughter mentioned Tart cherry juice, I thought she was pulling my leg. Sounded like something from a late-night infomercial. But I looked it up, and honestly, the research stopped me cold. Tart cherries are rich in anthocyanins, which are natural plant compounds that reduce inflammation, boost blood flow, and help your body clear lactic acid more quickly after movement. That lactic acid buildup is a big reason why legs feel stiff and sore the morning after any kind of activity, even mild activity like grocery shopping or a walk around the block. In a placebo-controlled study published in the Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science in Sports, older adults who drank 2 servings of Tart cherry juice daily reported 23% less muscle pain after walking and stair climbing, plus a noticeable increase in quad strength. The effects started showing up within 8 to 12 hours. Here is what makes it different from just eating a handful of cherries. The juice is concentrated. A single small glass can contain the anti-inflammatory compounds found in hundreds of cherries. But you have to get the right kind. Unsweetened, 100% tart cherry juice. Not a cocktail, not a blended cherry drink with added sugar. The real thing. Drink 6 to 8 ounces in the evening, or after any physical activity. If it is too tart for you, dilute it with a little water. I had it every night before bed, and within a few days, I was waking up with noticeably less stiffness. Getting out of bed stopped feeling like a battle. Number 3, cooked spinach. Are your legs feeling heavier than they used to? You are not alone, and this channel exists specifically for people like us. Before we move on, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next video. It might be exactly what you need. Now, here is something most people get wrong about spinach. They eat it raw in salads, and they wonder why they are not getting results. The science is pretty clear on this. Cooking spinach breaks down oxalates, which are compounds that actually block your body from absorbing the minerals inside. When you cook it, your body can access the iron, magnesium, potassium, and dietary nitrates much more efficiently. Those nitrates are what make spinach particularly powerful for leg strength. Your body converts them into nitric oxide, which widens blood vessels and dramatically improves circulation to your lower body. Better circulation means your leg muscles get more oxygen and nutrients, which means better endurance, faster recovery, and less of that heavy, dragging fatigue. A study in Frontiers in Physiology found that older adults who regularly ate high-nitrate foods like spinach improved lower limb performance by up to 16%. Another study in the Journal of Nutrition reported that a single serving of cooked spinach improved walking speed and leg endurance in adults over 65 in as little as 12 hours. Sauté it in a little olive oil with garlic and a squeeze of lemon. Don't boil it. That drains the nutrients right out. 1 cup at lunch or dinner, done consistently, can start making a real difference in how your legs feel the very next day. I added cooked spinach to my dinner every night. My legs started feeling less heavy on my morning walks within about a week. It was steady and it was real. Number 4, lentils. I'll be honest. Lentils weren't exactly exciting to me at first, but the more I learned about what they actually do for aging muscles, the more I made room for them on my plate. Lentils give you something most single foods can't. A nearly perfect combination of slow-releasing carbohydrates, quality plant protein, and the minerals your leg muscles need to function properly. Potassium, magnesium, iron, and leucine, one of the most important amino acids for triggering muscle repair. What makes lentils especially valuable for older adults is how slowly they digest. That slow digestion keeps your energy steady for hours, which is exactly what you need to prevent leg fatigue when you are standing, walking, or climbing stairs. Instead of spiking your blood sugar and crashing, lentils keep your muscles fueled through the whole activity. A clinical study published in the Journal of Gerontology found that seniors who ate lentils daily for just 2 weeks improved muscle endurance during leg-based tasks by 22% compared to those eating refined carbohydrates. They also showed better balance and faster muscle response. Cook dry lentils until tender and season them with turmeric, garlic, and a little lemon juice. Avoid the canned versions with added salt. A cup at lunch or dinner can help your body recharge leg muscle overnight. Many people, myself included, notice better stability and strength by the very next morning. Number 5. Salmon. If I had to pick just one food from this entire list to start with, it would probably be salmon. Not because it is the most dramatic, but because it does the most things at once, and it does them fast. Wild-caught salmon gives you 3 things your aging leg muscles desperately need: high-quality protein to rebuild muscle fibers, omega-3 fatty acids to reduce intramuscular inflammation, and vitamin D to support proper muscle contraction and calcium absorption. Most older Americans are deficient in at least 2 of those 3. I was deficient in all 3. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who ate salmon 3 times a week experienced a 24% increase in leg strength and mobility within just 10 days. That improvement was directly linked to reduced inflammation inside the muscle tissue and increased muscle protein synthesis after meals. The omega-3s, specifically EPA and DHA, enter your muscle cells directly and reduce the inflammatory compounds that cause that deep, aching stiffness after activity. The protein rebuilds what breaks down. The vitamin D helps everything contract the way it should. Choose wild-caught over farm-raised whenever you can. Bake or grill it with lemon and herbs. Avoid the heavy glazes and anything fried. Even a 4-ounce portion at dinner can make your legs feel measurably better the next morning. I started eating salmon 3 times a week. By the end of the second week, getting up from my recliner without pushing off the armrests felt possible again. That sounds small. It wasn't small to me. Number 6. Quinoa. Here is one I genuinely did not expect to care about. Quinoa always felt like a trendy food that wasn't really for guys like me. I was wrong about that. Quinoa is technically a seed, but we cook it like a grain. What sets it apart from almost every other plant food is that it contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein. That is extremely rare in the plant world. Your leg muscles need all 9 of those amino acids to repair and rebuild properly, and quinoa delivers the full set. It is also rich in magnesium, potassium, iron, and vitamin E, nutrients that regulate inflammation, support energy production, and improve circulation in large muscle groups like your hamstrings and quadriceps. A study published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition found that adults who replaced refined carbohydrates with quinoa reported better muscle endurance and less soreness after physical activity, starting after just 1 day. A separate Brazilian study found that seniors who had quinoa at lunch performed measurably better on walking tests the next morning compared to those who ate white rice or white bread. Rinse it well before cooking to remove the bitter coating. Simmer it in low-sodium broth for extra flavor. Mix it into a breakfast bowl with eggs and spinach, or serve it warm as a dinner side. 1 serving in the afternoon or evening can start giving your legs more steady energy, better coordination, and more pushing power on stairs. Every week on Senior Recharge, I share science-backed nutrition and health strategies built specifically for adults over 60. Subscribe now, so next week's video goes straight to your feed. You do not want to miss what is coming. Number 7. Beets. Beets were the food that surprised me most in terms of how fast they worked. The reason comes down to nitrates, and beets have more of them than almost any other vegetable. When you eat beets, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide, which relaxes and widens your blood vessels. That means more blood, more oxygen, and more nutrients reaching your legs, especially important because circulation naturally slows as we age. Leg heaviness, stiffness, that feeling like your lower body just isn't keeping up with you, a big part of that is reduced circulation. Beets directly address that. In one study, older adults who drank beet juice before walking showed a 19% increase in walking speed and improved leg muscle performance within just a few hours. A landmark study in the Journal of Gerontology found that one daily serving of beet juice significantly improved arterial flexibility and lowered blood pressure in adults over 60. Another study in hypertension linked those changes directly to better lower body mobility and reduced fatigue. You can roast beets, steam them, or blend them into a smoothie. But for the fastest results, drink 6 to 8 ounces of pure, unsweetened, 100% beetroot juice, either first thing in the morning on an empty stomach or about 30 minutes before any activity. The effects can come on quickly. Legs feel lighter. Movement feels more responsive. There is a reason elite athletes use beets before competition. For us, it means walking feels easier, climbing stairs doesn't wind you, and the heaviness in your legs starts to lift. Number 8. Bone broth. I saved this one for last because it is the one that felt like it was doing the most for my recovery day after day, consistently. Bone broth isn't just soup. It is a nutrient-dense liquid loaded with collagen, gelatin, the amino acids glycine and proline, electrolytes, and natural anti-inflammatory compounds. These nutrients work at a cellular level, supporting and repairing not just muscle tissue, but the connective tissue around your joints, your tendons, and the structures that keep your knees, hips, and ankles moving comfortably. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition and Metabolism found that glycine, one of the primary amino acids in bone broth, helped increase muscle regeneration and speed up recovery after exertion in older adults. A separate Japanese study reported that glycine improved leg muscle recovery speed by over 40% within just 1 day of use. Adults drinking collagen-rich bone broth regularly reported a 36% increase in strength and flexibility within a week, along with noticeably reduced soreness. What makes bone broth work so quickly is that the nutrients are already broken down. Your body doesn't have to work hard to digest and absorb them. They go to work fast. For best results, make your own using pasture-raised chicken bones or grass-fed beef bones, simmered with apple cider vinegar, garlic, and herbs for at least 12 hours. If you are buying it, read the label. Choose brands made from quality bones with no fillers. Drink it warm, on an empty stomach, in the morning, or right after activity. I started having a mug every morning after my walk. Within a few days, my knees felt noticeably less stiff. By the end of the first week, I was moving more smoothly than I had in years. Bone broth became the anchor of my entire recovery routine, and it still is today. Before I wrap up, I want to give you 5 things you can start doing tomorrow morning to get more out of everything we just covered. Because the foods matter, but when and how you use them matters too. First, drink beetroot juice or tart cherry juice first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Both have powerful circulation-boosting and anti-inflammatory effects that work especially well before you eat anything else. 6 to 8 ounces. Sip it slowly. Give it about an hour before your first meal. Your legs will feel it. Second, pair your protein with a slow carb at every meal. Salmon, bone broth, or spinach work best when eaten alongside lentils or quinoa. The slow carb gives your muscles steady fuel to actually use the protein. That is what prevents the midday crash and the weak wobbly feeling that comes with it. Third, drink warm bone broth 20 to 30 minutes after your morning walk. After movement, your muscles are primed to absorb collagen and amino acids. This is your window. A warm mug right after activity can jumpstart recovery, reduce soreness in your calves and knees, and make your afternoon feel dramatically more comfortable. Fourth, if leg cramps are waking you up at night, start your day with soaked pumpkin seeds. Just 1 to 2 tablespoons. Soak them overnight, blend them into a smoothie, or eat them with fruit. Your magnesium levels will start recovering within hours, and those midnight cramps that shoot up your calf and have you grabbing the bedpost can start easing within days. Fifth, add cooked spinach to your breakfast. Even a small amount counts. Stir it into scrambled eggs, sauté it with garlic, and fold it into your morning quinoa bowl, or mix it into warm lentil soup. The nitrates get to work quickly, improving blood flow to your legs the same day. Consistency matters more than quantity here. A little bit every day beats a big serving once a week. Here is what I want you to take away from all of this. 2 years ago, I was gripping countertops. I was dreading stairs. I was starting to believe that weakness was just my new normal, that this was what 63 was supposed to feel like. It wasn't. What I was experiencing was largely a nutrition problem, a circulation problem, a recovery problem. And when I started fixing those, one meal at a time, one food at a time, my legs responded. Not overnight, but faster than I expected, and more completely than I thought possible at my age. Today I walk 2 miles every morning. I carry groceries without stopping to rest. I sat on the floor with my grandkids last Thanksgiving, and I got back up without help. Those things matter to me more than I can put into words. Your legs can respond too. The science says so, and so does my experience. Here is your challenge today. Pick one food from this list and try it. Just one. Pay attention to how your legs feel tomorrow morning. Then add another. Stack them slowly. Let them work together. If this video helped you feel even a little more hopeful about your legs and your independence, please share it with someone you care about. A spouse, a sibling, a friend from church. One share could genuinely change someone's quality of life, and that means more to me than any like or subscribe ever could. Senior Recharge isn't just a YouTube channel. It is a community of people over 60 who refuse to just accept feeling weak, tired, and limited. People who believe that the right information at the right time can actually change how they live. If that sounds like you belong here. Subscribe, come back every week, and let's keep getting stronger together. Next week, I am going to share the exact morning routine I follow every single day to keep my legs strong and my balance steady, including the 5-minute stretch I do before I even pour my coffee. Subscribe now so you do not miss it. I'm Bob Miller. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. You've got more strength in you than you think. Let's go find it.